This is the National Briefing with me, Kelly Nash, and I must warn you, we have entered Trump derangement season. You know, much like cold and flu season, you can get a cold or a flu at any time of the year. Middle of the summer, doesn't matter. Same with Trump derangement syndrome. You can catch that at any moment during the year. However, as you get closer to elections, in the fall typically, that's when the Trump derangement syndrome really starts to kick in. And if you're a person of prayer, perhaps pray for Stephen A. Smith, who seems to have really caught a bad case of TDS. Yes, the TDS is spreading far and wide. Now, this is all, by the way, I've got to say congratulations to the FBI, not just on their big arrests in their press conference yesterday, but just on the names. I don't know who came up with these names. Was it the former FBI director who came up with these names? Because these started in 2023, the investigations. Operation Royal Flush, in order to get illegal gambling, or gamblers, I should say. And the other one was Operation Nothing But Bet, for rigging basketball games instead of Nothing But Net. They're very clever with their operation names, but Stephen A. Smith on ESPN, he says, this is not, it's not a big deal. This is really about Donald Trump. And by the way, this is not the first arrest that's happened in the NBA. Why are y'all making a big deal about it?
Involving Tim Donaghy, the former referee. You didn't see the director of the FBI having a press conference about it. And to me, it comes down to this. Trump is coming. It's not hyperbolic. It's not hyperbole. He's coming for the National Football League. Why you think this whole Bad Bunny thing and the Super Bowl halftime show?
Wait a minute. What did he just do? He just jumped from the NBA to the NFL halftime show? And Donald Trump, I don't think, has ever made any comment regarding the NFL halftime show. Maybe he was asked about it and I missed it or whatever. But that's pretty much just conservative Americans are the ones who started like the petition to get Bad Bunny replaced with George Strait and those types of things. That's not a Trump thing. So this whole thing, all these people are arrested. It's not a big deal. I don't know why the FBI had a press conference. Why are you all taking a look at it? Well, and he referenced Tim Donaghy. And a lot of you might not be familiar if you're not sports fans. Back in 2007, I think it was, Tim Donaghy was a referee who was betting on basketball games. Now, the main thing that happened with Tim was that he had inside information as to who was hurt and those types of things. And that's what he used to bet on the games. He actually, I know a lot of people think he was rigging the games, but he in fact was not. At least that was the opinion of the FBI, ESPN, and at the time, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
What does your gut tell you whether Tim Donaghy influenced the outcome of games by making excessive calls?
We can't find it, and his fellow refs can't find it, and as best as we can tell, law enforcement can't find it.
All right, so there you go. But by the way, Tim Donaghy did 15 months in federal prison just for the insider info that he had that he used to then bet on basketball games. But moving on, let's get back to Stephen A. suffering through his Trump derangement syndrome. He's going to critique this investigation.
And if you're talking about an illegal gambling operation that was taking place, whether it be poker games or anything else, don't just look at the players. Look at who they're connected to.
I'm pretty sure they did that, didn't they? I mean, there was only 3 like NBA people arrested. There was 34 in total. So there was 31 people who were not in the NBA, but were associated with this. And if you go to the justice.gov, you can see all of their names. I don't know that, like people like Saul Betcher from the Bronx, Lee Fama from Brooklyn, Jamie Gillette from Jericho, Tony Goodson from Forsyth, Georgia. I mean, I don't think that people care as much about these people. That's why they're not their names aren't being waved around. It has nothing. They were all that. By the way, just so he understands, this investigation started in 2023 because the FBI was looking at the mob. They were looking, and all of a sudden, NBA players started being in the mob circle, which caught their attention. But this is really about the mob. But that's not what Stephen A. thinks. I guess Donald Trump would have been somehow the architect of this, even though he wasn't in office 2 years ago when this thing started. But this is the big moment. Stephen A. is going to reveal why. Why did this happen?
This is about making things a bit messy and inconvenient. And whoever has to suffer, so be it. And why? Because people came after him. I've said before, vengeance, retribution. The man ain't playing. It's not like some superstar was named in all of this, y'all. This is Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier. But it didn't stop them from having a press conference to make sure that ABC had it, and First Take had it, and the sports world had it, to let you know what's coming down the pike, because he's coming.
If you have any compassion in your heart, pray for Stephen A. It's not like any superstars were mentioned in this. It's only Chauncey Billups and Terry Rozier. The first name you threw out, Chauncey Billups, last year in 2024, was inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame. No superstars were mentioned in this? A Hall of Famer who's also now the head coach of an NBA team? He's not a big deal? Okay. This is what Trump derangement syndrome does for you. You actually can no longer see facts. You don't understand. You're just out of your mind, Stephen A. And then the fact that they had a press conference, it didn't stop them from having a press conference so that ABC and ESPN, did you think that there was a possibility that the arrest of Chauncey Billups, who was about to coach games like this weekend, that would somehow fly under the radar? That a current NBA player being arrested who was supposed, would he go on the injured reserve list and nobody would notice that? That somehow the sports media world would not know about it? This is really sad. Stephen A., he's a pretty intelligent guy. And I know that conservatives love it when Stephen A. says something that leans conservative, it's not even leaning conservative. Every now and again, Stephen A. will say something that leans towards common sense. But he's gone now. He's gone. Pray for him. Can he be saved? I don't know. But I do know that there is a bunch of mobsters that were arrested yesterday. And the allegations from the FBI are horrific. People were beaten up. People would put guns to their heads. People were fleeced out of millions of dollars. Chauncey Billups, by the way, his role in all of this was he knew allegedly that there were illegal poker games, not just illegal in the sense that they didn't have a license to gamble, knew that the games were being rigged, that the card decks were being stacked against the players, and he was used to go and invite people to the games, attract them to the games, and then get a share of the profits. This is a man who has made millions and millions and millions of dollars, and yet he did that. The other NBA players, they made millions and millions of dollars, and they went after little, I don't want to say little because it's not little, but they would get their share allegedly $50,000, $75,000. That's like what they would make in a couple of days. And they were screwing people over in this. Now, the other ones, by the way, there are some names that are bigger than others that were front page of the New York Post today. Reputed mobster Tommy Juice, charged with beating a porn star once, is now arrested as part of the NBA. So yes, if you have some sort of earlier fame like Tommy Juice, then you also make the papers. But of course, Chauncey Billups is going to. And Donald Trump probably didn't even know about this investigation. This is so. You know what? I think Carolyn Levitt said it yesterday, and this really ticked off the left as well. Gave them a worse case of Trump derangement syndrome. Donald Trump's number one priority right now is getting the ballroom finished. He does not care about the NBA. He doesn't care about the WNBA. He doesn't care about the NFL. He doesn't care about any of it. So relax, Stephen A. Take some meds. Get better. We hope to see you back in your sane mind, which is really not that sane, soon.